My friend is in prison for memes. He has been in prison for 6 months and he has another 6 months left. But today is the day that we reclaim justice for him. His name is Aaron, but most people know him as Shlomo Finkelstein, an iconic German satirical video creator. Shlomo is one of Germany's meme pioneers on the right of the political spectrum, who would never shy away from offensive humor and pushing the Overton window. Shlomo used grotesque jokes and cartoons to mock basically everyone.
Um meines Seelenfriedens willen starte ich jedes Video von der Prämisse, dass ich zu intelligenten Menschen spreche, obwohl ich natürlich weiß, dass das nicht immer der Fall ist. Insofern werde ich offen und schonungslos sprechen und ohne Rücksicht darauf, wie minder bemittelte Idioten das Gesagte auffassen.
Every ideology, every kind of person. He would not discriminate. But he would never incite violence. And that is blatantly obvious to anyone who paid attention or has more than 2 brain cells. His audience knew him as bold and clever and fearless. But one day we found out that Shlomo, Aaron, was sentenced to 1 year in prison for violating his probation for absolutely ridiculous bureaucratic reasons. And his original crime was his satirical humor. Aaron has not seen his firstborn son that his girlfriend delivered just before he was sent to prison in 6 months. But I don't even have to tell you the story, because Shlomo himself delivered a voice recording to us from prison, and he's ready to share it with the entire world, because Shlomo was inspired by Vance and Elon Musk's amazing contributions to the European free speech mega movement. I have informed the AfD, and we are ready to take action on a parliamentary level. But not just in Germany. We are taking this to the European Parliament. It's time for us to make Europe great again. Thank you for standing with us. This is Aaron, aka Shlomo Finkelstein.
Dear Mr. Vice President J.D. Vance, dear Mr. President Donald Trump, dear Mr. Elon Musk, and dear other friends in America, Germany, and around the world. This is a message from a German prison. My name is Aaron. I am a right-wing YouTuber who is somewhat tied to the AfD. I conducted interviews with people like AfD politician Björn Höcke, the former Vice-Chancellor of Austria, H.C. Strache, or the chief spokesman for Trump's 2016 campaign, Jason Miller. I started making political YouTube videos when I was 19, now I'm 28 and I'm a father. On the 13th of August 2024, I was taken away from my girlfriend and son, who just turned 1 at the time. My girlfriend worked throughout the week while I took care of our son, and I did a political show on the weekends while she took care of him. We lived together. The arrest warrant came during her pregnancy. If I would have surrendered myself at that time, I would have missed my son's birth. On that day in August last year, I was going for my usual walk with my son, when about 15 undercover policemen and cops wearing ski masks ripped the stroller with my child in it away from me and overpowered me, screaming, "Don't do anything stupid. Think of the child." The reason were 7 counts of hate speech, or as the German law calls it, Volksverhetzung. One of them led to a 6-month prison sentence on its own. It was the biggest one of all of them. My worst crime in the eyes of the German justice system. As an American, you will have a hard time believing this, so here are the court documents to prove it. My crime was playing a few seconds of the politically incorrect parody song "What Does the Black Say" by American comedian Waka Waka Ali. That alone led to a prison sentence of 6 months. They also took a clip in which I made fun of leftists who smear right-wingers as Nazis out of context and charged me with the use of extremist symbols. To visualize what I was talking about, I had shown a historical picture of Goebbels, who was wearing a swastika on his arm. Most of the other counts concerned multiple showings of me burning a Quran, which was a statement in defense of freedom of speech I felt compelled to after the murders of Charlie Hebdo cartoonists in 2015. Lastly, they charged me with anti-Semitic hate speech because I had represented myself with a stereotypically Jewish-looking caricature as an avatar. Please let me explain that last one briefly. My online pseudonym was Shlomo Finkelstein. That nickname was originally given to me by actual neo-Nazis who were angry about my support for Israel. Because I don't mind being called a Jew, I then took that nickname and branded it as something positive to make fun of them. It was sort of like an early version of the Yes meme. I've now been in prison for close to 7 months. During that time, 2 important things have happened. Firstly, I found out what insane measures they took in order to catch me. Funnily enough, because now they want me to pay for them. They hunted me down like a terrorist. The Bundeskriminalamt, which is the German version of the FBI and normally goes after murderers, human traffickers or big-time drug dealers, surveilled 5 of my family members and close friends for months, listened to their calls and read their messages. That led them nowhere. Eventually, they got my banking information from the Federal Banking Registry, something they normally do if you, killed someone. They had undercover police officers follow me, videotape and photograph me for a few days before they made their bizarre arrest in front of my son. By then, they have had many opportunities to catch me by myself. For example, every evening I went out on the street to have a smoke after I brought my son to bed. But they decided they wanted to catch me in front of his eyes. They are currently demanding over 10,000 euros from me to pay for my own manhunt. Now to the second big thing. On the 15th of January 2025, the German intelligence agency called Verfassungsschutz visited the prison to talk to me. About 1 month earlier, it surprisingly looked like I could get out on probation this February. The administration of the prison I'm in had weighed in favor of me being released early. I rejected to talk to the German intelligence agency, which is notoriously known for blackmailing people into spying on the political opposition to the left-wing German government and deep state. I'm friends with the Austrian activist Martin Sellner. I talked to a multitude of AfD politicians both in public and in private, and the Verfassungsschutz, the German intelligence agency, probably knows that. They came here to turn me into a government spy against the leading opposition party, which now, after the elections, represents more than 1/5, more than 20% of German citizens. After I refused to talk to them, 2 weeks went by and I received a letter from the Berlin police. I've never lived in Berlin. In this letter, I was asked to comment on a new case against me. Hate speech, of course. They quoted a single tweet in which I had used Ahmed, so a stereotypically Arab name, to talk about mass migration. This isn't even a legal speech in Germany, which is quite a statement. My lawyer told me it should be thrown out before it gets into court. But here's the thing. That doesn't matter. If there is any open court case against you, your chances to get out on probation early drop down to 0. And now the punchline. The date that letter was written was the 21st of January in 2025, meaning 6 days after I rejected the offer to talk by the German intelligence agency. The tweet it was about was from 2023. The offenses I'm in prison for right now took place between 2016 and early 2019. For 6 years, there had been no court case against me. And now, the Verfassungsschutz, the German intelligence agency, visits me in prison, I don't talk to them, and 6 days later, the German justice system has cooked up a new hate speech case, which ensures that I will remain locked away from my son and my girlfriend for at least another 6 months. My son has learned how to walk while I was gone. He's learning to talk right now. A word he hasn't learned yet is Papa, which means dad. A few weeks ago, I had my court hearing. Not only didn't I get out on parole, the young judge told me that she wouldn't let me out on parole ever. She told me that it didn't matter, but I did everything the prison asked of me, including spending 8 hours a day building stone walls in order to set the path for a new non-political career, and agreeing to attend a de-radicalization program, which is yet to start. She told me that she doesn't believe I really want to be de-radicalized, because I'm still a right-winger. So not only do I have to subject myself voluntarily to political reprogramming in order to have a chance to be with my son on his 2nd birthday, I also need to believably want to be brainwashed, which they don't buy because, well, I'm not reprogrammed yet. I suppose Orwellian nightmares like this are pretty much on the menu as soon as the state implements thought and speech crimes. During all of this, you couldn't see a hint of empathy in her eyes. These are the people the German justice system is ruled by. This is what's happening in Germany. Dear Mr. Vice President J.D. Vance, at almost exactly the same time, I saw your speech at the Munich Security Conference, and it gave me a sliver of hope. Hope that the authoritarian course that my country has taken isn't set in stone. So I think that I speak for a silent majority of Germans when I say, thank you. And let's make Europe great again.